Hello guys, we needed that, didn't we? Manchester City have just beat Aston Villa 2-1. If you're wondering where I am, by the way, I'm away in Cornwall with Nicola, relaxing, but I still watched the game and it was still so good to see Manchester City back in action after all of that nonsense this week. It felt good just to watch Phil Foden and drool over football, and you should be drooling over One Football. What a transition that was. Go and download One Football right now, the link in the description, and put a big old smile on Stephen's face. It's an absolutely fantastic app with all the news about Manchester City from across the world of football. I'm sure there's going to be more news of this week as taught as anything. A crazy week of football. And if you want all the information and all the alerts from around the game, be it transfers, be it crazy news about world-changing football things, or even the stats from the game, One Football is the place for you. So go down it right now in the link in the description. It'll mean absolutely loads. But yes, this isn't going to be my usual kind of video. I know there isn't going to be a live after this or anything like that. I know there was no watch along because, as I said, I'm currently away with Nicola, but she's over there chilling and we're sat in a lovely little Airbnb. But it was nice just to watch the game and enjoy it. And Nicola said hello, by the way, to everyone. It was nice to watch the game and enjoy a bit of football after a painful week. And if I'm being honest, I wasn't really sure how I was going to feel today during this game. Obviously, the fact that all that ended last night, that nonsense was over, did make this game a lot more palatable. It definitely was a lot easier to digest. But I still felt a bit weird going into this game. But as soon as we saw Phil Foden beat Phil Foden, actually, to be honest, I felt even more weird after 20 seconds when they scored. The footballing gods showing that karma probably does exist and that City were bitten on the arse. But as soon as Phil Foden started going through the gears and showing what an incredible talent Phil Foden is, I tell you what, I fell straight back in love with Phil, the legacy fan Foden. If anyone gets what we're going through, it is Phil Foden. He was absolutely mesmeric tonight. Do not get me wrong, if anyone deserved a big pat on the back, it was him. And what I will say is tonight the players were absolutely excellent. I know it was a weird game of football, but honestly, I thought we played genuinely very, very well. Stones had a mare, and I feel sorry for him a little bit because he's had such a good season. But those kind of head gone moments aside, I can't think of any chances they had. I thought City were brilliant. I thought the attitude was absolutely immense, and you could see that the players were really, really up for it today. Even after conceding that goal early on, and occasionally freak moments like that can happen. I know everyone wants to beat Stones up over that, but what I will say was 20 seconds in, you still have to find and feel your way into it, and you kind of just missed the ball. I don't think it was a terrible, terrible mistake. It's frustrating, but I will forgive him personally because, John Stones has been great this season for us, and it was so early on that you can almost allow someone being I get a little bit loose that early on. But either way, it doesn't matter in the end. But other than that moment, I thought City straight away after that, I thought our attitude was excellent. We were moving the ball really, really crisply. And I tweeted just before the goal happened that I thought we were actually playing quite well, despite the obvious caveat being that we conceded. And I wasn't surprised when seconds later Phil Foden equalised, because City's attitude was absolutely spot on. And you could tell that they came out with a genuine desire and a genuine urge to put right the perceived wrongs on them this week. Because we've got to remember, they had absolutely nothing to do with this. They genuinely had zero to do with this whole debacle that occurred at Manchester City Football Club this week. And they were clearly annoyed like all the rest of the players in the world. And they were clearly annoyed like Guardiola was. And after the Chelsea game as well, it could have been very easy for them to kind of be in a very weird headspace. But what we saw tonight was a bunch of players who were totally, utterly focused, immense professionals, and we cannot ever doubt their commitment to winning trophies and their commitment to professionalism and great football, because the team were on it from the first, not the first second, after the first 25 seconds, I will say, to the end of the game. And I was so impressed with their commitment and their desire and the professionalism. And what I will say as well, in the second half, the game management, it was a boring second half, don't get me wrong, but absolutely excellent. I'm sorry, genuinely. They had Aston Villa chasing them. It was a masterclass in game management from the likes of Rodri in particular. I'll give him a big credit, and Silky Ilkay Gundogan. Plenty of pizzazz from Gundogan on show there. He was absolutely mesmeric, and of course, I can't really not use the word mesmeric without mentioning Phil Foden. I think it was Stefan from 9320 who tweeted, "It's quite amazing that we're seeing right now the shit Phil Foden." And what he meant by that is this is Phil Foden 1.0. He is still a baby in the footballing world. He's still only incredibly young, and he's got absolutely nowhere near. He's absolutely nowhere near the final product yet, I guess, is the point we're making here. And this is how good he is now. It blows your mind just to think of his ceiling limit as a footballer. Phil Foden is going to go incredibly far, and I don't think I'm exaggerating to say that potentially. And when I say potentially, I'm aware. I'm not saying he's going to get there. When I say potentially, I mean he has all the tools, the ability, and the talent, with a little bit of luck. And I guess the caveat being that Messi 2.0 doesn't appear out of nowhere. Maybe he is Messi 2.0. Who knows, man? I guess the point I'm making is that he has the talent, with a little bit of luck and the right attitude, to actually go on to win the Ballon d'Or. And I genuinely mean that. He could be the best player in the world. We won't probably see an era of Ronaldo's and Messi for some time, those 50 goals a season players. And we won't see that for a while, I don't think. But what that will leave people like De Bruyne and Foden and all that. And Foden could end up having a career as strong, if not even better, like someone like Iniesta. He might not reach that level in terms of honesty and honours and legacy, but I do know he has the talent to go as far as him in the game. And genuinely, he could be seen as an all-time great, at least for Manchester City, because Phil Foden, what a talent. And what I love about Phil Foden as well is that despite Kevin De Bruyne's absence today, he finds a way to step up. He always finds a way to step up, and that says it all about a player of his age, that he's possibly Manchester City's second best player right now. Possibly. Obviously, there's plenty of caveats there, because obviously Gundogan's been brilliant, Diaz has been brilliant this season, but Phil Foden is consistently energetic, consistently brilliant, and he's most importantly, he's consistently ours. And I love it. I absolutely love it. We needed a reminder to fall in love with the beautiful game tonight, and Phil Foden gave us those. And it's worth reminding that, once again, these players had nothing to do with this, and I do admire their integrity and their commitment, and they come out of this smelling of roses as far as I'm concerned. And that performance tonight, well, that definitely makes football a lot easier to digest, doesn't it? Elsewhere, yes, those had a bit of a mare. As I've already explained what I thought about the opening goal, it probably was a red card, but it was probably a 2021 VAR red card. I think 5 years ago, without VAR, maybe that's a yellow. 10, 15 years ago, no one's really complaining. And what I'm saying by that, I'm not downplaying the challenge, is it probably is a red card, but I don't think he was reckless, personally. I think the Leeds one, Cooper, was it? He was kind of off the foot. He was kind of jumping in and both his feet were off the ground. Stones wasn't quite doing that. Go and watch the two clips side by side, and it was a little bit different. Stones, it was a bad challenge. I'm not defending, but I guess the point I'm making is I don't think it was quite an obvious red as people make it out to be. Fundamentally, it doesn't matter. You're entitled to disagree, entitled to think I'm being an idiot, but I'm not trying to be biased. I genuinely think he was a little bit late, but his feet were planted and he didn't use excessive force. He was just... Either way, it doesn't matter. One thing I do accept is that in 2021 with VAR, there's no way he's getting away with that. Either way, it didn't fully matter, and I'm hoping it won't play on Stones' mind too much. City was so good in the midfield. Genuinely, Bernardo, Rodri, Gundogan were excellent. Absolutely excellent. Metronomic. Watching the ball just kind of move around. It looked like those, what are they called? Nicola, what are those things called? That go dick, dick on the desks and they kind of move around. What are they call those little things you got on desks and they're like metronomic and you go...
Metronomes or something.
Not metronomes. You know what I'm on about. You see them in like fancy offices and the little ball things. Either way, the point I'm making is it felt so consistent. The rhythm felt absolutely spot on. And City moving the ball around midfield this night, it was a pleasure to witness. All three were absolutely brilliant, and they stepped up in the absence of Kevin De Bruyne and put on a fantastic show. Diaz and Laporte, good. I thought they were both excellent as well. Walker, fine defensively. I had to laugh at one of his crosses attempts. Genuinely terrible. Genuinely terrible. Zinchenko, a little bit sloppy early on, but I think he grew into the game a little bit. Edison didn't have much of a chance with the first goal. I think it was just too early for him, to be honest. And he was still planted on the line because he didn't expect it to come out. One sloppy pass aside, but then he was also involved with a beautiful pass for one of the goals as well. Rodri got a goal, by the way, as well. I'll give him the credit for that. And his celebration, the intensity, absolutely wonderful. But this is good, because obviously look at the Premier League table now, and the nerves, I never really shared. I'm sorry, I'm not just trying to say this, but I've got the tweets and the videos to prove it. I didn't share those nerves. I didn't think Manchester City were going to mess it up. I didn't think I was worried, because essentially I wasn't worried about the points drop, because I don't really think at any point we put our strongest hand forward. And I always felt that as soon as we did, we would be back to winning ways again. And I think I was proven right on that front. As soon as we played essentially our strongest team, we answered that question once again. Now we're currently 11 points clear with 5 games left. United have got 6. They can make 18 points. We only need, what's that? Couple of wins. Couple of wins and we won the league, in my opinion, and I think we will be okay. And overall, I guess, after a week like this, an emotional week, I want to say thank you as well, everyone, for being so supportive of everything on the videos. It's been absolutely awesome, but it's been a tough week that we've all been in together, but we showed tonight that football isn't about those people in the boardroom, and I'm not going to get into that tonight. I can't be bothered, but it's about the fans, it's about the players on the pitch, and it's about the magic of football, and that's what I loved tonight. It was a credit, it was a pleasure watching some of those players be so good, and it reminded me a little bit of why I love this club, in terms of why I love watching these players play, and I don't really give a shit who's playing for this club. I love it anyway, of course, but either way, it was a lovely little reminder tonight, and Pep got it very right, and Pep was up for it, as were the players. Lovely, lovely stuff. I want to say thank you, of course, to all the patrons, and my latest patron, my patron producer, Ahmed Al-Ali's. A couple of patrons waiting for a shower. I'll get to you tomorrow morning, maybe we can fit another video in before we head to Cornwall. In Somerset right now, at a cider and everything. A lovely lady served us saying, and she served us by saying, oh, what was she said? I can't remember the words. All right, my lovelies, and the best accent in the world, adorable. For now, though, I'm going to go and chill. No fan view live, but, you know, I'm even doing a video right now. I'm taking piss a little bit here. For now, you're all absolutely awesome. Subscribe, like, comment, sit your back, probably. I love you, Phil.